Hello guys, today we're going to be working on this Kenmore made by GE. This is a side-by-side model. The model number is on the display. Welcome to DIY Repair Now. Read all the warnings, and during this video you will see one or more of these icons to help you do this repair safe. And the complaint that we have that it has ice buildup in this freezer back panel and it's not cooling properly on the refrigerator side, most of it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and start defrosting a little bit of this ice to be able to remove this panel. We already have an idea of what it can be. So we're gonna remove those shelves, those racks, and we're gonna use our steamer. You can use a hair dryer or you can just unplug it or turn it off to let it thaw out and let it defrost to be able to remove this panel. As you see right now, if you have a steamer, I'm doing the edges to be able to remove the panel out, and also I'm looking for those screws. It should be 2 screws in the bottom and 2 screws on top. Sometimes it's only 2 screws on the bottom, and on the top it has like a kind of slack. Once you find the screws and you remove the ice from the edges, you can just use a 1/4 drill bit with your drill or a 1/4 screwdriver to be able to remove the panel. In this case, it's a 1/4. In some models, it's a Phillips screws. As you see on the top, it was Phillips, and then the bottom was 1/4. You might only have 1/4 or only Phillips screws, so you have to be prepared with both of them. Once you remove it, just go ahead and sit it on the sink because it's still gonna have ice. And as you see, it's a big block of ice. This is a clear indication that it's not going to a defrost mode or something is going on with the defrost system. This is the defrost heater and defrost thermostat. We're gonna go ahead and start doing some testing. If you guys don't own a tester or a multimeter, you can just go ahead and order the part. It's gonna be a part link in the description of this video. And right now I'm putting this snips on the terminals on my tester to be able to work a little bit freely and better. Now we're gonna go ahead and set the tester on reading ohms or ohms with beep. So you're gonna be able to hear a beep, or you will be able to see numbers changing on the multimeter if I have continuity. Right now, I'm gonna go ahead and put one of these terminals on the blue wire. This snips on the terminals, and the other one on the pink one. That should be testing the heat elements. Now I have no continuity, and I'm gonna go ahead and leave you
give me continuity.
Original audio.
Elements, so that means one of those heat elements is not good, and it's always the one on the bottom. But it's one piece, so we have to replace both.
In case you didn't get that from the original audio, what I'm trying to say here is that it's always one of these 2 heat elements or both of them, but most of it's going to be the one on the bottom right there, and the one in the middle is always good. And now we're going to go ahead and test the defrost thermostat. What I'm trying to say here is the defrost thermostat have to be frost for you to test it, and I am having continuity on the defrost thermostat. If you want to learn more on how to check a defrost thermostat, there is another video on my channel. You can look for it, and I'm going to go ahead and link the video in the description of this video as well. As you can see right there, there is the defrost thermostat, and right now it's good, but the new heat elements brings a new defrost thermostat. This one looks like it's going bad as well because it's popping out. And like I said, that defrost thermostat have to be frost for you to check it, because it have to go lower than it also sets the temperature where it will come on. It's always about 30, 25 Fahrenheit that it have to come on. So like I said, if you want to see more of that and how to check the defrost thermostat, you have to put it in a glass of water, put it on the freezer, let it frost, and that's how you check it. And you can either turn it off at the thermostat or disconnect it. My suggestion is disconnect the refrigerator if you are working on it. That's just to be on the safe side to avoid electric shock. This is the new heat element. In this case, I left it on because I do this every day, but in your case, I would suggest for you to unplug it. I just leave it on because I'm working with very low light, so any light that is coming from the refrigerator or the freezer will help me. But like I said, in your case, go ahead and disconnect it to be on the safe side. This is the new one, and I'm just gonna show you as a demonstration where I put the when I'm testing the blue and the pink, I should get continuity. These heat elements are fine. Later on in this video, I'm gonna go ahead and show you. This is the defrost thermostat, and obviously I am not gonna have any continuity because I have to be frost like I saw in this picture, like I show you in that picture. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give you another demonstration when I get the other one out, and I'm gonna go ahead and test both of them again, that way I can show you which heat element went bad in the old part. The new part is a little bit different, so you have to keep in mind that. This is the drain hole. You got to make sure that drain line is not clogged, so pour some water there, and the water should go down just to make sure it's not clogged. That hole will have a drain line that goes to a drain pan on the bottom of the refrigerator, and that water is going to be absorbed by the heating of the coils, the condenser coils, and the compressor. Now, the reason why I put a towel on the bottom is because defrosting all this ice is going to create a lot of water going into that drain pan, and I don't want that drain pan on the bottom of the refrigerator to overflow, and it's going to be water on the floor all over the place. So I always put a big towel on the bottom of the freezer because it's always a lot of water, and if you let all the water go in that hole, it will fill up the drain pan on the bottom of the refrigerator. So just go ahead and put use a towel there to grab all the water, and don't let all the water. You can let some of it just to make sure the drain line is not clogged, but my suggestion is go ahead and put a towel on the bottom. As you saw, I removed all Phillips screws from the two heat elements. Always take pictures before you start removing any harnesses and any wiring, just to remember how it was. That's just for safety precaution, in case you don't remember how the wiring was and how the wiring goes. I always do that, and that does save me a lot of complications and certain repairs. As you see, this needs to be more defrost, but I was able to get it out. This is the old heat element. I'm gonna go ahead and put it right next to the new one, and I'm gonna go ahead and run some tests again with the multimeter, in case you own a multimeter and you want to make sure which of the heat elements are bad. However, this part brings the two heat elements and the thermostats included. So once you buy one, it's everything included in the box. Again, I'm gonna go ahead and check. Blue and pink should test both heat elements. This is the new one, and as you see, I got a beep sound and I got continuity. You can see the numbers changing. I'm testing the same colors here, pink and blue. Now continuity, that means one of them or both of these heaters are bad. Now it's very rare that both heat elements go bad at the same time. As you see, this one, it has like a fog inside. That's an indication that that's the one. This one also has that, but it's not as bad as the other one. So I always check the one on the bottom first, and it's always that one. I'm gonna go ahead and manage to put my leads right there on the terminals to grab some, uh, have a better graph for the tester. And like I said, I have no continuity whatsoever. So yeah, now I'm gonna go ahead and test the other one, put it at the same spot in the terminals. And as you see, the one in the middle does have continuity, which is the one that goes right there in the middle. I'm gonna go ahead and test the new one as well. This is the bottom one, and you'll be able to see that in this one also I have continuity, and also the one in the middle, because obviously this is a brand new part. I'm just doing this as a demonstration for you guys in case you want to do this repair right. Again, if you don't own a multimeter, don't stress yourself. It's always going to be one of these, and this is another solution. If you see one of these heat elements all foggy and all black, that means the heat element is like a coil. And as you see, take that one apart, and if it comes out easy, that means it's broken, and you know for sure that that's the one is bad. So there's another solution if you don't own a multimeter, to be able to do this repair yourself and save some money. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put this stuff away and keep defrosting. Now sometimes this can take a long time because it's been days working without defrosting, so all the ice turns solid. And like I said, if you don't want to deal with a hair dryer or a steamer, go ahead and just defrost it, open the freezer door, and let it thaw out by itself. Also, you got to be careful with hair dryers, because if you leave it alone, the hair dryer can damage the cabinet of the refrigerator. So the best thing for you would be unplug it and let it thaw out. Put your stuff in a cooler or in a spare refrigerator if you own one, and that would be the best solution for you. At this time, I'm installing the new heat elements with the new thermostat in place. Just, try to follow this video and go ahead and remember to take pictures before you remove the other one. Go back to your pictures and remember how the wiring goes. However, in this one, it's a little different, so you're gonna have to manage to move those wires out of the way, because you don't want to end up grabbing one of those wires with a screw, and it's gonna create a ground shortage, and that will be the end of the refrigerator. So just make sure you move all the wires out of the way, put them where it should be, and plug the new harness where it goes, and put the thermostat in the back tubing where the other one was. And this is why, I know I said it a whole bunch of times, but it's because that saved me. Remember, take pictures before you remove any harnesses or any wiring. I put this one in an angle in case water drips down. It slides down. It doesn't stay on top of the thermostat. So I just put it like an angle, 45 angle, and then that works for me. Now I'm gonna go ahead and install the panel. I'm still dealing with moving those wires out of the way, because I don't want to grab any wiring once I pull this panel in place. So if you move some of these parts while you were removing the wires, go ahead and stretch it back how it was to be able to align the screws the way it's supposed to. Raise that panel up however you can, and install the 1/4 screws that goes in the bottom. Sometimes it has to be adjusted. As you see that wiring right there. If I didn't look at that, I would have grabbed that with this screw, and that will be an issue. Now I'm doing the 2 Phillips screws on the top. At this point, we're pretty much done. We're gonna go ahead and put the light back on. Put the racks back in place. This is another thing that I do before I remove these racks. I always take pictures as well, because remember that there's some space in between, and then there's other spots where you can put it. So I want to leave it exactly how the homeowner has the racks. That way they don't feel like I did something wrong. Go ahead and dry any water that is sitting on the freezer. And this control is kind of tricky, because if you put it to colder, it actually closes a spot. It's a vent here, so if you put it in colder settings, you basically turning off the vent right there for the refrigerator. So always put it on recommendation setting. And this is the actual thermostat, the one who controls the temperature for both of them, the freezer and the refrigerator. So I always put it on recommendation setting. However, in this case, I'm going to leave it a little bit above, just because it's been off for a little while. But in your case, go ahead, put both in the recommendation settings. Thanks for watching.